Hello everyone, welcome back. Miasma Sensei here. This is going to be my first EDH deck profile video. I decided to do the commander that was number one in my most recent list, and probably number one still in terms of the commander decks that I've played. This is Carmen Cool Skymarcher from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. She's an Orzhov Sacrifice Matters commander. She's a 2/2 vampire soldier with flying. Whenever a player sacks a permanent, that's any player, put a 1/1 counter on Carmen, and you gain a life. Whenever Carmen attacks, return up to one target permanent card of mana value less than or equal to her power from your graveyard to the battlefield. So basically what you're going to do is sacrifice a lot. You play a lot of like fetches, and in truth, whenever your opponents fetch anything, you're going to be able to get the +1/+1 counter off of that, gain a life, and it's going to eventually let you reanimate things. So this has a lot of things that I like about EDH. This has Reanimator in it. It has counters in it. It has some really mean black spells that you can put into their sacrifice. So this deck is not the friendliest for sure. I would say definitely discuss playing this type of commander with your table in a real zero conversation. I have this as a bracket 3 with 3 game changers. And one of them is a secret commander that's kind of pretty mean. But yeah, so I'm going to break this up into a few different sections. First, we're going to do creatures. So obviously we have Carmen as our commander. And I try to play little packages here. So I have a Blood Artist, I have Zulaport Cutthroat, Falconwrath Noble, Vengeful Blood Witch, Cruel Celebrant. So this I kind of refer to as a ping package, sort of. It's whenever a lot of these have effects of whenever creatures die, you're gonna hit your opponents for a life, and you're gonna gain a life. Some of them are targeted, some of them aren't, but they're all pretty low CMC, and as you're doing your sacrifices and stuff like that, it kind of helps keep you afloat, and they work really, really well with other cards in the deck, like the enchantments and stuff. So, and they go pretty well with Carmen, because things die, you're going to gain life and hurt your opponents. Next, we have kind of some of these mean cards. So sack outlet card, or sack cards that force your opponents to sacrifice things. So Accursed Marauder, Fleshbag Marauder, Merciless Executioner, Demon's Disciple, Plaguecrafter. So I play these 5. I considered playing Gravelighter. I don't have a copy of it, but I feel like maybe 5 of these is like enough. But basically a lot of these say, like when Plaguecrafter enters, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Each player who can't discards a card. Demon's Disciple says each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Merciless Executioner is creature. Fleshbag Marauder is creature. And Accursed Marauder is non-token creature. So basically, they're all also pretty low CMC. So when you get Carmen onto the field, if she gains counters and stuff, you're going to be able to loop these pretty much every turn. So you're going to be able to force your opponents to sacrifice their creatures. Kind of putting them like a little bit of a prison, sort of. But you're trying to get advantage off of the things that they can't hold on to. For other creatures, I'm playing some sacrifice things. So Viscera Seer, and I also have like Woe Strider. So the Viscera Seer sacrifices and scries cards. The Woe Strider makes a goat token. You sacrifice to scry. So this gives you some fodder to sacrifice. These just give you their sacrifice enablers on bodies. And then some other creatures that do kind of some similar things or provide bodies. Charismatic Conqueror. This is 2/2 Vigilance. Whenever an artifact or creature enters the battlefield untapped under your opponent's control, they may tap that permanent. If they don't, you get a 1/1 white vampire that has lifelink. And you'll be surprised how many players don't want to have their stuff come in tapped. So you'll end up just like getting bodies with that, and you can just use them to sacrifice, or you use them to get your life back with that lifelink. Another one of my favorite cards, Braid's Arisen Nightmare. This is a 3/3 with, at the beginning of your end step, you sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent that shares the type with it. For anybody who doesn't, I would draw a card and that player loses 2 life. I have thought in the past that I kind of want this as like a mono black commander someday. I'm a little fearful that the deck would kind of just look very, very similar to this, so it might just be like really repetitive. But let me know down below if you think that you'd like to see a deck profile with Braid's Arisen Nightmare as the commander. In terms of some other synergies, I'm playing Super Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a 1/1 with Menace. Whenever a permanent leaves the battlefield, he gets a 1/1 counter. And this deck has a lot of permanents leaving the battlefield, and it's the whole field. So it not only is Carmen getting benefit from your opponents even cracking fetches or doing things like that using treasures, Super Shredder gets bigger, and he has Menace. Morbid Opportunist. This is a draw engine. Whenever something dies, you get to draw a card once per turn. Something I'm teching in is Werefox Bodyguard. This is a 3-mana 2/2 Elf Fox Knight, so a really interesting creature type. It has Flash, and when it enters the battlefield, you exile up to 1 other target non-Fox creature until this leaves the battlefield. And then for 2 mana, you can sacrifice this and you gain 2 life. So it's an interesting kind of like Flash removal creature. And then you can sacrifice this as you want to, and you benefit off sacrificing through Carmen. And you can always bring this back because it only costs 3. So you could, let's say your opponent has something problematic. They play a creature, you Werefox, you flash in Werefox Bodyguard, you basically, you get it off the field. You have Carmen on board, you then you sacrifice the Bodyguard, let's say if that other threat is not as looming anymore. Or even if it is, you sacrifice the Werefox Bodyguard, you get your counter on Carmen, swing with Carmen. Carmen on attack trigger is going to bring back your Werefox Bodyguard, and you can tuck that creature back underneath this. So it's something I just added. So we'll see how that goes. And let's see. Some more synergy cards that I have working with this. I play a Sephiroth Fabled Soldier. When he enters or attacks, so you can sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses life, you gain a life. If it's the 4th time it's happened, it transforms. And then you give your opponent an emblem that the Blood Artists basically affect emblem. So a lot of stuff dies in this deck. I've debated like cutting this because it doesn't always kind of come up, I guess. But I don't know. Ophiomancer. This makes snakes at the beginning of every upkeep. If I don't have a snake, it gives me a 1/1 snake, black snake that has Death Touch. So it's a body in itself, and it provides more bodies for me to be able to sacrifice. Elenda the Dusk Rose. This is a 1/1 vampire with lifelink. Whenever another creature dies, put a 1/1 counter on Elenda. When she dies, you get 1/1 vampires equal to her power. So it's good to have another lifelinker, and then she can also make other lifelinkers. This gets really, really big later in the game because a lot of your stuff has just been dying. You've been recycling your Fleshbag Marauders and your Plague Crafters and stuff like that. And it's whenever another creature dies at all. So if you play your Fleshbag Marauder, you're going to kill your Fleshbag Marauder, 3 of your opponents who are sacked their creatures. So that's 4 creatures dying. So this gets 4 +1/+1 counters. So she gets really huge. I'm playing an MDFC Wish Enchanter for artifact enchantment removal and potentially a land. Cryptghast, it has Extort, and then it makes your swamps tap for double. Liliana Dreadhorde General is the one Planeswalker I'm playing. Her +1 is you get a 2/2 zombie, so something you potentially sacrifice. Her -4 is each player sacks 2 creatures. And her ultimate is each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type and sacrifices the rest. That last one's probably never going to happen. But sometimes it's very effective just to do the double sacrifice one. So that's it for creatures. Let's go instants and sorceries. So instants I have here in like kind of like two sort of like sections. Let's do removal. I love removal magic. So I'm playing Soul Shatter. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the highest converted mana cost. I'm playing Feed the Swarm to get rid of enchantments or sometimes creatures. Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares, Anguished Unmaking, just sort of like nice like targeted removal in Orzhov colors. And then I like the Edict effects, so I'm playing Shieldred's Edict. So you choose one, each opponent sacrifices a creature token or a non-token creature or a planeswalker. So really works well with Carmen. And then just as a free removal spell, I'm playing Deadly Rollick. So if you have your commander, it's just free removal. I'm a big fan of playing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This has 7 targeted removal. I'm a big fan of like targeted removal and board wipes. So yeah, I think that they work like pretty well together. In terms of like board wipes, in black, I'm playing Toxic Deluge, Blasphemous Edict. If I'm playing black, I'm always going to play these two effectively. And if I can, I'm going to play Torment of Hailfire. And then the other ones are kind of like flexy removal spells that I'll play. I really like Damn in this deck because it has an overload. So Damn is 2 mana in black, destroy target creature, or creature destroyed this way can't be regenerated. It also has, more often than not, you're going to like overload it for 4, and it replaces target with each, so to destroy each creature. But in a pinch, if you need to, it's just a 2 mana remove a creature spell. The next two are pretty good in terms of this deck with sacrifice synergies. So Tragic Arrogance. For each player, I would choose from among the permanents they control. They get to keep like a planeswalker, an enchantment, a creature, an artifact, and they sacrifice the rest. So that at most are going to get 1 artifact, 1 creature, etc. And this is really good because you can also just play it even if they don't have one of the specific things. So like if they don't have a planeswalker, you can still like play this. But it makes it drops them down to 1 of each thing. Now it also does the same. It's also going to do the same thing to you, so you have to keep that in mind. But again, Carmen really cares about you like sacrificing things, and any player sacrificing things. And this is just like infinite reanimation, so you really don't have to worry about your own stuff dying all that much. And then my favorite new addition to this, so shout out to 33 Elk on YouTube for pointing this out, and honestly the Werefox Bodyguard. I forgot to mention Elk earlier. Big fan of their channel. By invitation only. This is a 5 mana sorcery. Choose any number between 0 and 13. Each player sacrifices that many creatures. So if you are behind and other people are having like this huge board, you just get rid of it all. Then they end up like sacrificing everything. Even if even if Carmen's on board, she will see everything getting sacrificed. So you will end up gaining the life. Yeah, it's really, really cool. I like it as a removal spell a lot, as a board wipe. I have synergistic instants here. Some of them are going to be like sacrilated. I have Culling the Weak in this cool new Secrets of Strixhaven art. This sacrifice a creature to add 4 black mana. Village Rites. Sacrifice creature, draw 2 cards. I'm also playing like Deadly Dispute, very, very similar. Desperate Plea. Sacrifice a creature to destroy target creature or reanimate something, or both. Really cool card from the Avatar set. I'm going to try this one. I just added this. I haven't gotten to use this in a game yet, but Duty Beyond Death. Sack a creature. Creatures you control get indestructible and +1/+1. So in a pinch, sometimes if you just need to like save Carmen, because Carmen will get targeted pretty harshly. And then some other, I'm playing a Diabolic Intent. sack a creature to tutor for something. Search your library for a card. I'm also playing Grim Tutor. Search your library card, add it to your hand, then you lose 3 life. And then other cards I'm always pretty much going to play in orders of. I'm playing Cut a Deal. Each opponent draws a card, and then you're going to get to draw cards equal to that total number of cards. Dark Ritual, 1 mana, you get 3 black. Reanimate, you kind of need to play Reanimate. Even though it's kind of like a little extra in here with how much Carmen's doing, you just always should play it, I think, in black. And then Ink Shield. This card, I know, is like, some people think it's like bad. I frigging love this card. It comes in clutch so many times. It costs 5 mana as an instant, so it's pretty high. And it is like a combat trick, I guess. You prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to you this turn. So it's a fog. So for each damage prevented this way, you create a 2/1 flying Inkling token. And so you can, especially if people have targeted Carmen and stuff like that, you can fall behind kind of in this deck sometimes. And then let's say they're like building that board and they think they've gotten around your shenanigans of sacrifice and everything. You just leave mana up with Ink Shield. They're going to swing into you. They're going to try and kill you, take you out of the game. And I've done this, and I've resolved this for like 18, 20 Inklings before. So it's pretty wild. Then you can always just sacrifice the Inklings for effects and such. But you should really be winning the game after that. Okay. So, let's see. Artifacts and enchantments. So artifacts, standard ones, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet. I'm playing Expedition Map. It's just good because you can sacrifice it to get any land, and it's only 1 mana, so you can keep recurring it with Carmen. I'm playing Ghost Vacuum. It's another thing you can sacrifice, but you can also it's just graveyard hate. You can keep taking stuff out of your opponent's graveyard and then eventually taking it for yourself. And then I'm playing 2 sacrifice synergy cards in Ashnod's Altar and Phyrexian Altar. Basically just sacrifice your creatures to get, this is 1 mana of any color. This is 2 colorless mana. So they work really well with your Blood Artists and your Falconwrath Nobles and these things. You can sacrifice things, you get mana off of it, and then you ping their life and you gain life. Enchantments. 2 of my favorite cards in this entire game. I'm playing Dictate of Erebos, or this one's Ellie's Rage. Whenever it has flash, whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. I love this card. It's very, very mean. And Grave Pact is kind of the same thing, just like 4 mana and it doesn't have flash. Whenever a creature you control dies, each other player sacks a creature. So I really like effects that say, like, if my thing dies, like if something is happening to me, something is definitely happening to you. And these like cards are just like the personification like of that. Like they're like I like to think of them as like they kind of like balance out the table and drag everybody down if I'm going down. And they work really, really well in this deck. Other enchantments that I really like in here, Black Market Connections gives you extra card draw and potential bodies. Bitter Blossom gives you a 1/1 fairy every turn. You are going to lose a life, but you're probably going to gain that life back with Carmen anyway. Another card I'm teching in now is 4 Nox. So this is basically Phyrexian Arena in white. So it's 3 mana. It's from Doctor Who, which is why I think it's kind of probably like a slept-on card. It has Vanishing 4. So basically it comes in with 4 counters on it. And at every upkeep, you remove a counter. But at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you draw an additional card. So this is a 3 mana draw a card every turn on a clock. And it's only 3 mana, and Carmen can bring back any permanent. So if you really wanted to, in a situation, you can get this back and it'll come back with its 4 vanishing counters, 4 time counters, and you'll be able to keep looping the 4 Nox. But yeah, give yourself some more card draw. Card draw, I think, is something that I have been like struggling with a little bit in this deck. But yeah, let me know down below if you have any other suggestions. If you've ever played 4 Nox, let me know, because I don't think I've known anybody that's like really played that card. And then Kaya's Ghost Form. This is just protection for Carmen. It basically gives her just like if she dies, she's going to come back one time. Or it also works for exile. So I really like that for like farewell and stuff. Now we'll go to lands. In this deck, sacrifice really matters. So we're playing Terramorphic Expanse, Evolving Wilds, Fabled Passage, Arid Mesa, Marsh Flats, Verdant Catacombs, Flooded Strand, Windswept Heath, Bloodstained Mire, and Polluted Delta. So I'm playing, I think, pretty much, most of the fetches that I can possibly play. Certainly the ones that I have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm playing 10. There's 10 fetches here that are going to sacrifice themselves and get you to other lands. So they're gonna fix you, and they're going to trigger her Carmen's sacrifice ability. So you're gonna gain life, and then she's gonna get a counter. So really, they end up being free. And then they're also free on Reanimate, because what's going to happen is Carmen's eventually going to attack. So she's going to attack, and let's say you have the Windswept Heath in your graveyard. This thing has a mana value of 0, so you're going to swing. She's going to bring back the Windswept Heath to your battlefield, and if you wanted to, you could just sack it again. She's going to gain another counter, and you're going to gain life. So you could just infinitely loop. Once per every time she attacks. So but you're going to be able to always be able to recycle your fetches. On this kind of deck. So also, if you have like a table of players that are all using a lot of fetches, Carmen's going to go off even more because she's going to benefit off of them. In terms of basics, I realized when I was putting this together, oh no, not basics yet. I'm going to do duels and synergy lands. This is Vault of Champions. This is a Surveil Orzhov land. Shadowy Backstreet. Oh no, this is the Vault of Champions is the one if you have 2 or more opponents. It would be tapped, but it comes in untapped. The Surveil one is Shadowy Backstreet, Godless Shrine, Cabal Coffers, Urborg, Lotus Field. I kind of like Lotus Field in here because you can sacrifice 2 of your lands, and this is going to tap for 3 mana of any one color. So it will, again, sacrifice synergies. Try to have as many things in this deck that say sacrifice as I can. Rogue's Passage, because sometimes Carmen gets really, really big, and even though she has flying, you will have people that will like put up like big flying blockers. My Dracula's Tomb Phyrexian Tower, another sacrifice thing, gives you 2 mana when you sacrifice a creature. Bajuka Bog, Graveyard Hate, and another mean thing, Strip Mine. This is also because it's 0 mana value. You can just keep recurring this in the graveyard and keep hitting your opponent's lands if you really wanted to. Again, this deck's not very nice. But basics. I realized when I was putting this profile together that I have one basic in here that's not like the others, and I don't think I currently have a replacement for it, but you'll see what I mean. We're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 basic planes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And 11 basic swamps. Here's the guy I was talking about. 11 swamps. I really want to, I need to find one more of my other Innistrad black and white basics, because these are the best basics, in my opinion, of all time. These are incredible. And then the last thing I wanted to do is I saved my game changers for last, because I was a little worried that people might see the game changers and then click off of this. But yeah, so obviously I'm playing Carmen, and then I have Smothering Tithe. So whenever opponent draws a card, they can pay 2 mana. If they don't, I get a treasure, so I can sacrifice the treasure. Triggers her, just ramps you. I'm playing Braid's Cabal minion. Says at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices an artifact, creature, or land. It does include you, so you have to be really careful with this. But yeah, she came off the ban list, and yeah, she's real scary. And then my super secret Sword of Commander in this deck is I'm playing Turgid, God of Fright. This is a 4/5 with Menace. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a card, or discards a permanent card, you can take that card from the graveyard to your battlefield. I'm not playing any. I don't think there's any like discard synergies in here, but I thought about like I might put like smallpox in as just like one thing, but I kind of don't want it to be really. It's not really like a targeted deck. It's just a deck that has her in it, because this card is like one of the most hated cards in all of Magic. And I would probably play it, but then no one would play against me probably. So at least she's in here, even though it is like tutorable and stuff like that. This is a card that I'll usually like mention that is in the deck in like the Rule 0 discussion, because I know that this is like really unfavorable to face. But yeah, that is my Carmen Cruel Skymarcher deck profile. I'm going to try to have a link to my Mox field in the description down below, so you can see it on there as well. Let me know if you've played Carmen before. Let me know what you do with your build. How would you adjust this? Remember, I'm kind of like new to Magic in general. A little over a year I've been playing now, so yeah, I'm going to take some advice on how this could be improved. But I really love this deck so far. She's still like my favorite commander. And it's fun for you, not so much fun for your opponents. And I think when you're playing black, when I'm playing black, I want to be the one that's having fun. You having fun is getting in the way of me having fun sometimes. So that being said, my name is Miasma, and I'll see you next time.